Hello children, let us do our first chapter in chemistry, Matter in Our Surroundings, Part 1. Topics to be covered are physical nature of matter and characteristics of the particles of matter. As we look at our surroundings, we see so many things around us. These things are having different shapes, different sizes and even different textures. Everything in the universe is made up of a material which scientists have termed as matter. For example, the chair we see around us, table, in fact air that we breathe, that is also considered to be matter. So what is matter? Anything which has mass and occupies space, that is known as matter. In that respect, we can even consider a small drop of water to be matter. Particle of sand is also taken to be matter. Now just think about it. Are you a matter? Do you occupy space? Do you have mass? Yes. We human beings are also considered to be matter. And the things around us which neither has mass nor occupy space, they are known as non-matter. Generally, feelings are considered to be non-matter. For example, love, hatred, thought, smell, that is considered to be non-matter. If we talk about smell of something, smell of a rose, that is taken to be non-matter. Let us understand the physical nature of matter. Matter is made up of particles. Let us understand this with the help of an activity. If we hold a glass sheet in our hand and look at it, the sheet appears to be a continuous one. In case it falls due to an accident or by a negligence, then what do you think what will happen? It will immediately break into very small tiny pieces. So this shows us that 5 pieces of glass is made up of particles. 5 pieces of glass sheet is made up of particles. That means every matter is made up of certain particles and they differ in shape, size and nature. Therefore, we can say that matter is particulate in nature. Matter is not continuous. Because it is made up of particles, matter is particulate in nature. And now, we can even understand with the help of another activity. As you can see beakers on your screen, I have taken a beaker in which I have taken 100 ml of water and to it I added 1 tablespoon of salt. On constant stirring, I have observed that the size of the salt particles kept on reducing and eventually I could not see any crystals of salt at the bottom of the beaker. So, do you wonder where did the particles of salt go? Particles of salt have gone into this vacant spaces between the water molecules. These are known as interparticle spaces. The particles of salt have occupied the vacant spaces in the water molecules. That means matter is particulate in nature. The size of the salt crystals were broken down to smaller and smaller tiny particles which have occupied the spaces in the water molecules. So, always remember students that matter is made up of particles. We have seen that matter has particulate nature. The particles they differ from one matter to the another. But have you ever observed the size of the particles of the matter? The particles which constitute a matter are very, very small. They are so small that we cannot see them with our naked eyes. What we actually see is the aggregate of small tiny particles. Now let us understand this with the help of an activity. Now as you all can observe on your screen that there are 5 beakers. Starting from right to left. I have taken small amount of ink and I have dissolved in the last beaker. When I have put ink in the last beaker, I stirred it. So what will happen to the particles of the ink? The particles of the ink will go into the spaces between the water molecules, and thus the solution will be seen blue in color because the particles of ink will impart blue color to the solution. Now, I will take 10 ml from this beaker, in which I can see the darkest color of the ink. I will take 10 ml from this beaker and I will add 90 ml to it to make 100 ml. What do you think we will be able to observe? We will be able to observe that the color of the solution will be slightly, intensity will be less as compared to the earlier beaker. If slowly I will take 10 ml from the second beaker and I will add 90 ml to it. Again I will observe the intensity of the color which was earlier has now reduced. And on successive dilution I will observe the intensity of the color will be lesser. So students, if the intensity of the color is reducing on dilution, what does this show? That the size of the ink is dividing itself into smaller and tinier particles to such an extent that even on huge dilution, small tinge of color will be observed. As a result of which, we will say that the size of the particles of matter is very, very small. You can imagine if we keep on adding the amount of water taken in the successive beakers, it will be approximately 400 to 500 ml of water. And what was the amount of ink taken initially? It was 1 teaspoon only. So the amount of ink remains the same, but the amount of water keeps on increasing. So we will see on dilution, small tint of blue color will be shown. This is the reason the particles of matter is very, very small. And it keeps on dividing itself into the tiniest particle. As a result of which you are able to observe the slightest blue color in the first beaker, starting from right to the left. Let me explain you with the help of another example. Let us take one bucket of water, and in that bucket of water I will add 1 cap of Dettol into it. What will I observe? I will observe that the smell of Dettol is there in that bucket of water. If I will take 1 mug of water and I will dilute it with half a bucket of water, I will still get that smell of Dettol in the another bucket of water as well. So why does this happen? This happened because the particles of Dettol is broken down into the tinier particles. Because they have broken down into the tiny particles, the smell of Dettol could be felt in the another half bucket of water as well. Therefore, students, remember the size of the particle is very, very small. Matter is made up of particles, but size of the particles of the matter is very small that we cannot even see with the help of our naked eyes. Let us understand the characteristics of the particles of matter. The first characteristic is that particles have spaces between them. Let us understand this characteristic with the help of an example. If we talk about particles of sugar or particles of salt dissolving in water, Then if we are mixing sugar and salt in the water, on stirring it we do not find those particles at the bottom of the beaker. So where does those particles go? Those particles have occupied the spaces between the water molecules. Therefore, water molecules have spaces between them. Similarly, we have even discussed about Dettol. Why we were able to observe or feel the smell of Dettol in the water? Because Dettol has mixed evenly in the water. So if you take water from the first half of the bucket or second half of the bucket, you will get the smell of Dettol in both the cases. Similarly, if you have dissolved sugar in the water, whether you divide that water into two halves, whether you take first part or second part, both will be sweet. In fact, if you are preparing tea or coffee or lemonade, in these cases also we observe that the particles of one type of matter, they get into the spaces between the particles of the another matter. So students, remember that particles have spaces between them. Students, now let us understand the second characteristic of the particles of matter. Particles of matter are continuously moving. Particles of matter never stop. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Suppose in our house we have a puja room, and in that puja room the incense stick is being burnt. So what will happen? The fragrance of that incense stick will be felt in the entire house. Why? Because the smell of the incense stick you can feel sitting at a distance as it is moving everywhere. The smell of the incense stick mixes with the particles of the air, and air is moving everywhere. So particles of the matter are continuously moving. Let us take another example. Suppose you have come back from your school, and as you entered your house, you could observe and you could feel that your mother is preparing sambar. Yes, I hope you all like South Indian. So your mother is preparing sambar. How is it possible that you are able to identify that sambar is being cooked in the kitchen? You are able to identify that because of the smell of the sambar that has reached to the receptors of your nostrils. That is how you are able to identify that yes, sambar is being cooked. But why are you able to observe this? This is because particles of matter, when they are continuously moving, they are possessing energy, what we call as kinetic energy. As the temperature rises, particles start moving faster. So we can say that with increase in temperature, the kinetic energy of the particle also increases. Because sambar was being prepared at that time, it was on the burner in the kitchen, the heat was provided to it, the temperature was high, so the smell reached to you automatically. Had sambar being cooked and kept in the kitchen, then it would not have been easy for you to identify that sambar was cooked, because at that time temperature was low. You were not providing heat to it. So remember students, when we are providing heat to it, kinetic energy of the particle increases, and thereby you will observe that particles of the matter are moving much faster. Let us take another example. Suppose you have taken a beaker with 100 ml of water, and you have put a drop of ink into it using a dropper. So what will happen? You will observe that the ink will start moving in the water on its own. Even if you are not stirring it using glass rod, the particles of ink will start moving on its own. And then after a few hours, you will see that the color of the ink will spread evenly throughout the water. Although it will take time, but even then we will observe after few hours the color will spread evenly in the water. So why does this happen? This happens because particles of matter are moving continuously. So students, in the above activities, we have observed that the particles of matter, they intermix on their own with each other. They do so by getting into the spaces between the particles. So, this intermixing of particles of two different types of matter on their own is known as diffusion. In the example of incense stick, you have observed that the particles of burnt incense stick, they have mixed with the particles of the air, and air is moving everywhere. So you could identify the smell of the incense stick. Similarly, in the case of sambar, the particles of sambar have again mixed with the particles of the air. So you were able to identify it. Movement of particles was there in both the examples. And in fact, in the third example of ink also, particles were moving on its own. So this diffusion took place between the different types of matter. We also observe that on heating, diffusion rate becomes faster because kinetic energy is higher. So remember students, particles of matter are continuously moving. Students, now let us understand the third characteristic of the particles of matter. The third characteristic of the particles of matter is that particles of matter attract each other. The particles of a substance have a certain force between them. This keeps the particles together. And the magnitude of the force of attraction depends upon the nature of the particles which constitute the matter. It even depends upon the interparticle spaces between the matter. Now, let us understand this with the help of an example. Let us take an iron rod and a piece of chalk. Out of the two, which do you think you will be able to break easily? You will be able to break easily the piece of chalk, but it is very difficult for you to break the iron rod. Why? Because the particles of the iron rod are held together with greater force. So, it is not easy for you to break the iron rod. However, the particles of chalk have weak force. That is why you can break the chalk piece by your hand. Similarly, let us take another example. Suppose there is an open water tap. You try breaking the stream of water with your fingers. Are you able to cut the stream of water with the help of your hand? No, we cannot cut the stream of water with the help of our hand because particles of matter, particles of water, they attract each other. They have a strong force of attraction between them which keeps them together. Therefore, you can even put your hand number of times, you will not be able to cut through the stream of water. In fact, when you are in the sea or when a diver is able to dive in the water in swimming pool, what happens? Is diver able to cut the water? No. The moment diver moves from that place in the water, that space is again occupied by the water. Why does it happen? Because water molecules have attraction between them. The particles of matter, when they are having force of attraction between them, then the particles are held together by that force. Okay, but remember one thing, students, that strength of this force of attraction varies from one kind of matter to another. So, particles of matter attract each other. This depends from solid state of matter to liquid state of matter and to the gaseous state of matter. Because attraction is maximum in the case of solids and less in the case of liquid and least in the case of gaseous state. Okay, students? Students, now your homework is you will practice the question 1, 2, 3 and 4 of your NCERT book, which is given on page 3. Along with that, I have given you an extra question also. If bottle of perfume is opened in one corner of the room, it immediately spreads throughout the room. Why? So I hope this module will help you in finding the answers to all these questions. Please do these questions in your notebook. Thank you.